Hello, everybody, and welcome to this review of Big K.R.I.T's Double Down. Am I right? Am I talking about Big K.R.I.T again this week? And yeah, my name is HSR. It is the Headspace podcast, but a bonus episode because it's a little EP that came out again. I feel like I'm really being redundant because last week we talked about Big K.R.I.T's Thrice X. I know we were a little bit late on that, but it turned out that like today another one dropped. So here I am talking about it today. Unfortunately, Mr. Christopher will not be joining me because it's his birthday this weekend and he's going out and having a good old time. And well, fair enough. I might have done one on my birthday, but he wanted to have a life. I understand. Um, for those of you new here, I'm going to do my little intro bit, and you can totally skip that. If you check the description of the video, you'll see when we just kind of start, although it's not going to be very long. Quick shout out to the patrons, Ismail Gadamsi, Super Old School 1994, Linda Williams, and Chris Prado. So yeah, we'll talk a bit about that at the end, and just so that you know, how this works is usually we talk about full-length albums, and we started adding EPs just for extra episodes. YouTube likes it when you post a lot, so this is a good way to post content without it being like quite as lengthy as the long ones. But we go through everything track by track, and the goal is to kind of like take a look at the project as a whole, share the experiences. Usually, I'm joined with people. Today, it's just me. This weekend, you're gonna see a bunch of just me because well, Chris is not here. Anyway, let's get into it for real because I don't have a lot more to say now. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to learn, grow, and enjoy the music as we go through it and hear your thoughts and opinions. So I would love to know in the comments what you think. And I am a little bit more awkward when I'm by myself, but that's okay. As far as Big K.R.I.T, I'm a fan of the guy. Forever is a mighty long time happens to be one of my favorite projects of 2017. I thought it was brilliant. It was how you do a double disc, and Drake could learn something. It was my feelings kind of on that. It is one of the nicest double discs I've seen, so I appreciate that. And then we did the album last week, and I was like, "That's cool." I really liked the first track. The second two were kind of nice, but the first one like blew me out the fucking water, and it was kind of nice. It was sitting on it, but we started like kind of having a little conversation about releasing music. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk a bit about before jumping into the project because it seems a little relevant. So I was of the mind that I prefer like the full length album because you kind of get a chance to get into it, get all the like the juicy content, get it like spread out and really sink in. Because when it's short, like let's say you don't like a song, it really like impacts the overall listening experience. Whereas like let's say it's 8, 9 songs, if you don't like one, okay, but the other seven are there to kind of compensate. Chris, on the other hand, he tends to get a little bored around track 12 of almost any album. So he's more interested in like the idea of a shorter project where he can just have it in like bite-sized chunks, digest it, and kind of get that. And I thought it was cool. I thought it was an interesting way to kind of look at it. Just we had such different preferences. So I'm very curious to know what you guys think. Do you prefer like the long projects or do you prefer the short ones? But then something happened this weekend, and Ismail Gadamsi, our awesome patron, had kind of pointed it out to me that Tech9 is releasing like a bunch of little projects and that are probably going to culminate into like one physical release. So also today, being this Friday, Tech9 released a project, being the second one in like a row. His last one was 4 songs. This one is 2. In the same way, Big K.R.I.T just released like 2 little EPs. And is this like the new trend in marketing to have these little projects just kind of come out? I mean, from an SEO perspective, everyone seems to be like all the platforms seem to be really drawn to constant releases over the idea of like a project just due to the fact that regular content releases kind of gets more media attention. So in a sense, if they release each of the, let's say you had like 18 tracks and you like chop it up into 2, 3 song EPs and release it week over week over week, technically the way all the algorithms and everything on YouTube and everything behaves, you would probably market your project better from like a machine learning front than it would be. And simultaneously, all the bloggers are going to write about you like 15 times instead of just like that one article. And in sense, because they have to hit a word count to make Google happy, they're going to write the same number of words for each like little article that they would for like their whole full review. So it might be like a really smart way to like dupe content creators and bloggers and YouTube and stuff to like think you're cooler, whereas you're basically releasing the same volume of music in terms of songs, but under like a different release schedule. So I thought that was like an interesting thing to think about. I'm gonna try and watch for it. I wanted to know if you guys had noticed this trend, what you guys thought of this trend, if you're into this trend, because I don't know, it's new, and sometimes I think I know shit, and I'm like wondering, but I have such a limited point of view, and so hearing what you guys think in the comments, especially because y'all are all over the world until maybe Article 13 takes out Europe, um, like y'all really broadened my perspective, so I truly appreciate that. But truth is, you are here to hear me talk about Big Crit a lot more than maybe his release strategy, but it's part of it. It's part of it. So let's talk a bit about Double Down. It's 2 songs, and it's the second album in a very short time span. The title is very apt. That's my thoughts on it. It's like he's doubling down. Second project. This one has 2 tracks. Like in every aspect of the literal way you could double down here, it makes total sense. So I guess it's good. The cover is just kind of the back of his head. So like the other side, right? Because I do appreciate how the 2 covers go together. They're like the simple white, the one we had the front of his face. Now we have the back of him, and it kind of complements it. Like we're seeing 2 sides to a coin, which does draw me back to the way Forever is a Mighty Long Time was kind of like 2 sides of the same coin. So I thought that was super fucking cool. But other than that, I don't know that it was overly significant. I would have been okay with them coming out as like one project. That's all I'm trying to say. But the first one on this little ditty is Learned from Texas.
On one day, show the grill, show the grill. I just wanna bend the corner late night to the early morning.
All right, this is a very like unapologetic, going in hard tribute track to Texas, where evidently Big Crit was inspired greatly by this music scene or maybe the people there. I'm not 100% sure of the history, but just like from the sense of the song, I mean, you do have that lyric right at the end. Texas gave me a lot, feel like it's my home, for my crooked with love, forever is diamonds and wood and the chrome, man. And that's a good line to kind of start with because I get the point of what he's saying. Like, this is a tribute to Texas. And then it's just a little bit of like slang that goes way the fuck over my head. I kind of get what Forever is Diamonds is because it's a very clear and it ties into the love line, so that's cool. But I have no idea what Wood and the Chrome main is. And I mean, I know I could go look it up, but I don't know that I feel like this compelling urge to go translate the vernacular that Big K.R.I.T uses here. I don't know if that's really the point of the song. I feel like it's a bit more of a vibing track. Now, there's this car culture, and Chris kind of went into it in more detail on the last review that we just dropped. So if you haven't checked that out, it's a good way to check it out. You get some more context than coming to this one. But we kind of look there, and I feel like this is a perfect song for like cruising down in your car and you're just chilling, and you just pull up, and then it flows into that choppy, screwy feel. Now I know DJ Screw was involved in this thing, and I've read a bunch of wiki pages, and I have a general idea for what the chopped and screw like overall sound is. So like it's not completely foreign to me. I know a lot of 3 6 Mafia stuff is kind of chopped up, and you can kind of like check out these albums, and I bet in the right context I'd really feel the sound, but I don't really understand it. So I don't want to like try to interpret stuff I don't understand, which is fair. But I do appreciate what he's alluding to, and I can like pick up the various references. Like I totally dig UGK from what I've heard of them. I understand what Double Cut the Fluid. I get what that's referencing because unless I'm mistaken, Pimp C was one of the big guys who brought like lean culture to life in a sense, double cupping. DJ Screw did that shit, and I thought it was really cool, And then learning shit from Texas, like right after, it's like right at the beginning of the song, it's showing love to the shit that inspired him to get to where he wants to be. Meanwhile, you got that beat going on, which kind of flows in, and then it just kicks in, and it's not like this overly banger style, like we just feel like whatever. It's more of this smooth, layered experience where, like, I mean, you can kind of see the headphones I use. They're not like the greatest, but they're also not shit. So they allow me to like hear a lot of the nuances of the music. That's kind of why I picked these ones. And man, there's so much layering going on here. I could only imagine on like these powerful fucking speakers, like the kind where you can feel the vibrations. This shit would just like tear through you. And he's like, I just wanna pull up. It just fucking sounds great. And the chorus is fine. The verses are just like loaded with slang. So I don't want to go like too deep in trying to interpret it, but he's got a great flow to it. And it just kind of makes me want to chill. Like it makes me want to go to a bit of a party and have like this great experience. Everyone's just kind of vibing out. I'm not really a big dancer, but I do like a great vibe where everyone's just kind of feeling it and, swaying and whatnot. Whatever. Now I'm sounding a little lame. But he kind of just makes every lyric sound clear and pronounced, and he's got this great singy melodic way that he spits each line that I feel adds like this passion. Like you just feel it pouring out of him, that he's just so excited to share his love for these different things that he's expressing to y'all. um I feel like in the second verse he's going a little more specific with names and stuff. I might be wrong, but I think UFOs like who need a ride. I don't know if that is actually related to UFOs. I was wondering if somebody could translate that for me. Maybe it's related to Outcast or some shit, but they're not really from Texas, so I got really confused there. Now, there's not a lot of info about this album out. It kind of just dropped today. And Genius, for some reason, doesn't have it. I actually had to go check out the lyrics on azlyrics.com. I don't know if y'all know that one. It's still around somehow, but that was just weird. Side note tangent. Um, yeah, so I really dug this track. I feel like it's got this great love for it, this passionate thing. And I personally appreciate the sentiment of just like giving love to the tributes. Like it's kind of why we're even making this channel, all of us, is because like we love the culture and the music that comes out of it. So in a sense, like I feel like he's paralleling the sentiment of what I'm trying to at least do with this channel, go and show the things that I've loved and discovered and find awesome throughout hip hop. And he's just kind of highlighting like almost like a Watch Mojo top 10 list styled like top level, just like, yo, this is what I fucking love. Y'all inspired me. Here are all the things that inspired me. 15 things that inspired Big K.R.I.T. Anyway, it kind of just flows in the chorus. It's short. It's just over 3 minutes. Flows in beautifully. I had this a 4.5 on 5. It's got a strong feel to it. You feel the passion and love, and I kind of like it more than the last two songs on the last track, but not as much as the first one on the last project. Anyway, one more to talk about because this guy's kind of short. Pick yourself up.
Pick yourself up. Pick yourself up. No broke. Pick yourself up. Pick yourself.
Okay, like I thought like the last one was cool, but this one was fucking fun. So like it just comes in with a catchy ass hook, like pick yourself up, ain't nobody helping no broke ass, like you just get the sense, and it's like almost a thesis statement of like the point he's trying to make. He's making it abundantly clear. You need to help yourself because you whining and complaining and waiting for handouts and other people to fix the shit, it's not gonna work or anything. So you need to pick yourself up because nobody's helping you, broke ass. And I was just kind of like, all right, that's simple. And it's got this catchy like do 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 feel like to it, and like the chorus comes in with a strong full beat, and then it just kind of drops to like this loud, bouncy, warm bass, kind of slapping you in the face sounds as he slows down. And like every line is like delivered like a little bit of a slap to your face with a little bit of a sting, like he's just fucking disgusted with your ineptitude given the shoe fits. So it's like income tax checks, you blow that shit. I'm just like, oh fuck, eh? And I thought about that. A lot of people really do. And I'll be honest, when I was younger and I used to get any kind of income tax checks because of like student fees and shit, I blew that shit. I was stupid. I would not blow that shit. No, that would go straight into like fucking paying off shit that I owe. But like in the idea of like you get an extra $1,000, so all of a sudden you treat this like a bonus to your life as opposed to taking that money and fiscally going, how can I use this to improve my situation? Because what common misconception in economics is simply that like any money coming in, like there's any kind of there's no compartmentalization between like what you work, like your salary and bonus money. It's all money that you have. And just because you get an extra 1,000 over an income tax check, let's say, that's money that you have. You can blow that shit or you can save that shit. I guess from the sentiment, Big K.R.I.T wanted to say that shit. And we get a little bit more of that into the second verse when he talks about how he saw the car and he realized he wanted that car, so he fucking found a way to get that car. And I love that kind of just simple shit. Like, he's not even trying to be complicated. He's just talking regular. Like Body 4, and they repo that shit. She leave your dick dry, that ain't your bitch. It's just facts. He's just like, well, these are things. If this happens to you, well, this is the reality of the situation. And he flows it through and just kind of flosses through. Then he spells out independent, which really reminded me of just that little boozy and I think it's Webby song, well, independent, where they kind of spell it out and like Independent. Do you know what I mean? That track. And I kind of like that. I don't know if they were shouting that out. I don't know, but I enjoyed that. But I like how he pointed out that you can't spell in the Big Crit version, and I just enjoyed the fact that it's like this basic shit. Like I'm independent, and I'm gonna spell it out for you because you literally can't even spell the fucking word. So how can you even claim to be independent? Fantastic. It's just shots upon shots, but like from it's kind of like a dad slapping a punk ass kid. And I guess I'm old enough to really appreciate that. But it was meanwhile, it's over this fun again track that you could just be rolling down the street in your car with the fat bass and it's fucking dope. Second verse kind of flows into a little bit of him and how he's gonna stack, save, etc., and kind of create some shit, and that's fantastic. It's just kind of first verse is commenting on you, second verse is kind of I actually accomplished some shit on my own. So go fuck yourself. Your opinion is invalid. And then, the third verse kind of talks a bit about a chick who like weave right, edges right, but your bills ain't paid. Sugar daddy fly you out, but you still can't stay overnight. Gucci bag you back on that plane. He married you, mad that you got played. Think you run one game. He ain't called you saying homegirls got changed, but you call them lame. I like that little part. There's a lot to unpackage. It's well, not a lot, but it's kind of like that Hobson song, No Shamer or whatever, where it's just kind of that idea of these people who go out of their way to be like fake. Now, keep in mind, he went after dudes in the first verse, so he saved the ladies for the last. I guess you keep the best gender for last. And he's just commenting on the people who go out of their way to like put on this artificial front, like they don't pay their bills. They go out there, and I've seen a lot. I've met people like this, and it's more important to play the part and like live a life, and then you meet some rich guy or whatever, and you get to go on vacation. You're all over, and you're taking pictures on Instagram in Mexico. Next thing you know, you're in Montreal again, and you're not necessarily doing quite so well 6 months later, and you're mad about this and that. But at the end of the day, especially if you mess with taken people, then you gotta like understand that they're taken, and you will never be their priority. Like you're gonna always be a second. Plus, messing with a taken dude means that he would always be. Anyway, it's just not the wisest choice. But either way, if you choose to go down that path, right, then you should be aware that it's not necessarily his fault if things don't go the way you want. On the other hand, and it's weird, this has come up in like a few songs recently. I guess this is like a pressing issue on the consciousness of new artists, or new albums. Either way, I appreciate the way that he's kind of, in a sense, calling people on their shit in like a really basic way, just pointing out like if you really want to achieve anything in life, you have to build it yourself. And like as a person who is trying to live out that mantra, I can totally respect it. I mean, 2, 3 years ago, I was just like, how in the fuck am I ever gonna accomplish my goals? I mean, I want to be a rapper. So I made a bunch of music. And then like I couldn't do anything with it. And then I thought, well, I can wait for somebody to like help me find an audience or something because I'm 31 and I work in a fucking office. It's not like anybody wants to come to the damn show. So performing's out the question. The next thing you know, I found myself talking to cameras, and this turned out to grow. I mean, you watching this may not think I'm that cool, but you might actually like this and hit that subscribe button. And I'm not trying to say that to plug it, but that number goes up, and it blows my mind because this is not really what I expected with my life, but it's a means to like pick myself up and build my own thing. All of this shit in my room, it's mine. And that's an incredible thing to feel every day because it took years to put this together. And there's still so many years left, but I could wait for other people. I could pick myself up and recognize that ain't nobody helping this broke dude right here. I can either accomplish shit and make myself not broke, or I could sit there and whine about it. I mean, that's more about like a younger me because I've been, like if you grind and you focus and you walk and you visualize, which is what I really liked about the second verses, is focusing on visualization. He saw something, he made it happen in his mind, and he went for it. Like if you check out the Ty Lopez H3H3 podcast episode, you'll see even Ty Lopez spits that same shit. So when you see like a guy like Big K.R.I.T spitting the same kind of shit as the self-help like money-making guru, spitting the same shit as like Robert Greene, spitting the same shit as like everybody, it's fucking cool. I appreciate that kind of wisdom. I'm giving this motherfucker a 4.75. The fourth time in a row I listened to it, I realized this is a great song, but it's not 100% one of my favorite jams. But it's not quite Keep the Devil Out. Let's be real. That shit was better than this. But at the end of the day, this song is fantastic, and I plussed it on Spotify because I get to still plus it on my computer, but I have to heart it on my phone. I don't know if you guys have pluses or hearts, or what do you use? I'm so curious about like what music streaming apps are around the world. So if you can drop your like country and your music streaming app that you like the best, that would be fucking dope because I'm so curious about that shit. Anyway, so yeah, I guess I'll just kind of wrap up a little bit because there's nothing else to go into. There were two tracks. I don't really have a summary here. I really like this little project. I'm not 100% sure I did the marketing of it. I went over that at the beginning. But I encourage you to check this out if you like Big K.R.I.T. If you're like, I want to support this guy. I want Big K.R.I.T to fucking be there. I want him to come to Montreal and I want to spend money on his fucking show. That's where I'm at with Big K.R.I.T. I kind of wish it just wasn't split into two albums like it was. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about that. So thank y'all for watching. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of the album, what you think of Big K.R.I.T, what you thought of this review, anything you wanted to comment on. I hope you want to talk. You know, I'll come in and like answer you. I do answer every comment. So if you come to this video and you see a comment, you'll likely see I answered it. I digress. Thank y'all. Special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Supersco 1994, and Lindell Williams. I know I read that really impersonally. Sorry. These guys are awesome. They're all helping us grow and try to get like stuff. We got expensive plans in the future, not next level, but you know, anything that can help us get there makes the quality go up faster, makes everything go dope. We got some cool things in the works. So if you do join us, you'll get access to the request pool where you can tell us what you want us to review once a month. It's from Patreon. Plus, when you join, you automatically get like a free review, and we'll just do it as soon as we can the following month. And we're gonna get a Discord running so we can get some more direct access. That'll be access, but we'll figure that out later. But early access to content. We're trying to like really develop this. If you're not into that and you're bored of my page, hit the subscribe, please. If not, cool, I understand. Hit that like if you liked it. Hit that dislike if you don't. Hit me up in the comments, positive, negative. Tell me whatever you want. If you want, in the description, I dropped a little project on Spotify myself recently. You can check that out. It's also available on all the whatevers. Anyway, have yourself a great day. I'm done self-promoting. Peace. I'll see y'all all weekend as I record more of these.